Hey guys, and welcome to my review of Black Beauty by Anna Sewell. I read this book as part of the Read Kids Lit project that is being organized by Leslie at Words of a Reader, and that basically is to read kids literature in November. This was the first book that I read for this project, so now let's go into it a little bit and how I felt about it. Anna Sewell is an English novelist, and Black Beauty is her only novel, and it was published in 1877. The book is about a horse by the name of Black Beauty and his experience with different owners and different grooms. Black Beauty is born on a farm where people are very kind to animals, and he has a very good life, but due to different circumstances he has to change owners and experiences many different kinds of people and many different kinds of perspectives on how one should treat animals, from treating animals really well to exploiting them and abusing them. Before I go into what I thought about the book, I should mention that this is one of the world's best-selling books. It has over 50 million copies sold. It is a book that broke literary ground because of the way it's written, and that is in first person is the autobiography of a horse. That even though it wasn't the first novel that did that, this was the novel that basically made this kind of writing known. And this is a pivotal book in the movement of animal welfare and animal rights. This is the book with the widest impact against animal cruelty, particularly horse cruelty, and it made people realize what was happening to horses, people that didn't own horses as well as people that did own horses. Apparently the book was even given out as pamphlets to horse owners and stable owners by animal activists. Because of the way that it's written, it's very accessible, so a lot of people understood animal cruelty a lot better, and it had a great impact. It allowed for reforms to be made in rules to be taken against animal cruelty. It allowed for people to realize that certain garments that are used for horse training are bad for horses and bad for their medical condition, and their use to be abolished. So this is a very important book. Apart from that, it was also very influential to other novels about horses, but not only, also about dogs and other animals, portraying animal cruelty and trying to raise awareness about that. I didn't really know much about Anna Sewell until I read this novel, but afterwards I read a bit about her, and she is such an amazing person. In her childhood she had an accident, and because of that she couldn't walk. So she depended a lot on horse transportation. So that's why she developed a very close relationship to horses, and that's why she wrote this novel. She wrote this novel when she was bedridden, and 5 months after this novel was published, she died. She was able to witness its initial success, but she didn't by far see what the impact of this book was and how she really affected the treatment of horses all over around the world. I think this is a very important book for those reasons. I've never actually had a horse or known anyone that owned a horse. Even though I really love horses, a lot of these things came very new to me, so it taught me a lot about how horse is broken in, what kind of garments are used to ride horses. Everything was novel for me, everything. So that was really interesting. The only problems that I had with it was the writing style. Obviously this was written in 1877, even earlier than that because it was published then. So the writing, to me it was a bit hard to follow. There's a lot of expressions, and some sentences are worded in a way that it's kind of difficult to follow. Also, there were some parts in the book that I thought it kind of dragged a little bit, and I couldn't say I really loved the book. I do not consider this a children's book. I don't think that this should be read by children, not even around the age of 10, 11, when they are older and able to understand more things. I'm not one of those people that think everything should be sugar-coated for children and there's no hardship in the world. I don't believe that. But this book takes it to a kind of extreme, and I think the animal cruelty portrayed in this book is a bit too intense for children. I try to think of myself having read this book as a child, and I think I would have been devastated. It was very unsettling for me as an adult. I can't think of how it would be experienced by a child, and I don't really think that this should be counted as a children's literature book. To that point, Anna Sewell didn't actually write this as a children's book. The fact that it was written in the horse's perspective to give it more of an impact. The fact that so many animal activists used it and it was spread around to everyone kind of hints that it wasn't a children's book, but somehow it became a children's pony genre book. And I don't really see why that happened, because I think it's too much for a child to understand. Since it was published, the book has been adapted into a number of films and TV series, and I don't remember watching any of them, but according to my mom, I did watch the TV series adaptation with her on TV. But when I told her about how I thought the book was so intense on animal cruelty, she said she doesn't actually remember the series being about animal cruelty at all. So I kind of tend to believe that the adaptation is a lot less intense, more for children than the book is. In 2011 and 2012, it was also made into a theatre play adaptation over the UK. All in all, even though the writing put me off at times and it was a bit slow at times, I did enjoy the novel. I mean, as much as you can enjoy a novel where there's animal cruelty. I ended up giving this book 3 out of 5 stars, and I really recommend it, but more for adults than for children. If you read this book during this month or at any other time in your life, I'm really curious on what you think about it, and whether you do think it's a children's literature, or you read it as a child and how you perceived it then. I would be really curious to see how people who own horses perceive this book, because it would definitely be a lot different than how I read it. Thank you guys for watching, and I hope you enjoyed this video, and I will see you back with more videos soon. Bye bye!